Let's see here. I think I'm live. Got to be live. Make sure I'm live. Go here. Make sure that we're all set in this piece. All right. Let's see here. All right. Looks like we're on. All right. Welcome to another episode. I am Mike Perkins, one half of MVP, one half of Opinions Are Like Podcast, one half of Mike and Vince Perkins. And for this here, I am the whole show. Um, okay, so you see the thumbnail, you've seen the thumbnail, and you see the title. Mary Brown. Mary Brown was on the Bernard show today, and he was talking. He was doing a lot of good talking. That's all he really was doing was talking. He um he brought up a few points. I might go through the video, I might not, what I'm saying, depending on how this goes, you know what I'm saying? But one of the things that he charged the manosphere, the black manosphere with is blaming the women for kind of everything, and as men, I think that, we ultimately shouldn't blame women for everything, but that's not really what we do here. What we do here is typically we blame women for their thing. So for example, we were talking about the idea that men, impregnating women, of which that whole conversation was really wild. You know what I mean? It was wild because he had to, unveil um his daughter being married and being married to a black guy and him not being too happy with that, of which whatever, man. Like that's your life. You know what I'm saying? Do what you do. But he was doing that, and while he was kind of, going over that, the thought in my head is always that women kind of control sexual access. Women kind of control sexual access. So a lot of times what we do is that we blame guys for this, for this thing, of like impregnating women. Like Future doesn't have any cases. He has a lot of child support cases, but not any, great cases or anything of that nature, because he's just, he's not taking it. He's, really, just taking what they give him. They're giving him sex. They're giving him access to their bodies, and consequently that resulted in, 9 kids or 9 baby mamas or whatever. And guys like that, like guys like Amiri, really, like his observable reality can't possibly be what he's saying. Like I can only imagine that he's like, you know he's just taking, the other side's points and just kind of, just spewing them, you know what I mean, in an attempt to, it's a cash grab. Like I always think it's a cash grab because like these guys are not, he's not dumb, you know. A lot of his rhetoric is really like, it's redundant. It's a lot of times it's incoherent, it's yeah, but the main thing and the main reason why I'm here is really the numbers thing. Reading stats. I did a video maybe like 2 months ago, you know what I'm saying? At least that's what it says on the thing. I did a video like 2 months ago. And in the video, um, you know, I I showed that 56% of black men do not have kids. And with Amiri, you know, he didn't, they were saying 51, they were saying 53, 52. Nobody was saying 56, and that was really like kind of frustrating, but whatever. But with Amiri, he again read the whole thing kind of incorrectly, because I mean, because most people do, they just read it just any old kind of way. They take the percentages and just add them up and divide by four. And it's from the, let me see if I can get this while I'm talking. You know what I'm saying? That would be probably best. Let's see, census. Uh, census. Let's see here. Um, how many? How many men are fathers? All right, not that. This here. All right, so we got it here. See here. Stop sharing that. Share that. Tizab. All right, this is the. Hold on, make sure it's on there. All right, this here is the crap. It doesn't let you do it. Let me go back. But this here is the chart that he was trying to read. This one right here. When do men become dads? They got the black people right here. Where my cursor is. I don't know if you can see that. Obviously, you can. It's very very small. But he just kind of read the numbers and said 80% of men have babies while at least at the age of you know at 40. And like when I see these guys, like I think that what they're doing a lot of times is they're informing their conclusion with a bunch of narrative. Like I'm gonna do a narrative first, and then after I do this narrative, I'm gonna kind of, go from there. And the woman's talking points are very easy to do when you say, the men are the ones that are impregnating the women, what I'm saying, of which, I mean, just I mean, maybe like a month ago, whatever, what's that? Abortion was legal everywhere, what I'm saying, in the States. So it's just like 19 million abortions. Our women aren't too, shy about it. They're very liberal about aborting kids. You know what I'm saying? They have the option of the morning after pill. They have the option of birth control. They have the option of not letting a nigga nut in you. They have the option of, not allowing a dude to in any way shape or form have sex with them or whatever, or wear a condom, anything. What I'm saying? They have a bunch of things that they could do to kind of avoid what I'm saying, being pregnant. What I'm saying? And they were using what I'm saying, the the abortion, what I'm saying, very very liberally. So I mean, I can only imagine that when they were doing that, they were probably, what I'm saying, able to stop themselves from being pregnant. The fact that, only 44% of black men have kids, of which that's the number. Even if, and this is what I have a problem with, even if you did what he did, even if you did what he did, whereas uh between the ages of 20 and 29, 24.5% of men have kids, and between the ages of 30 and 39, 62 point, I think 5% of men have kids, black men. This is just black men. Even if you added those two numbers, of which that was what he was trying to do, even if you added those two numbers together, what I'm saying, adding those two numbers together is what this 86 around about 86. Let's go 87. Even if you divided those two numbers by two when you added them, you still get 43%, which is the number I got. Because most of the men are from the ages of 20 and 39. Like that's where most of the men are. Like when you get over 40, that's when dudes start like dying off, having heart attacks and things of that nature, which that's horrible, but that's really what's happening, what I'm saying, more often than not. It's less guys the older you get. You know what I'm saying? And it's like to me, like, and I thought Amiri, like, this, I guess I'm disappointed because I thought Amiri was like a smart guy, you know. I just thought he was a smart guy, you know what I mean? But like he's not at all, and it's not, or better yet, this he doesn't have anything new to say. I shouldn't say that he's not smart. Maybe he is, but I don't think that he really has the bandwidth, you know what I mean, for some of this stat talk, because the reality of it is that he really blew that, and I knew he was gonna do it because most people do, like they read it, like Courtney Michelle has done the same thing where she's read the stat as 80% of men have kids by the time they're, a certain, it's like, no, that's not the actual stat. You're misreading the stat. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing that on purpose, or I don't get it? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people just are reading the numbers incorrectly. I mean, I don't know, as a means to, just carry on a narrative, just to carry on a narrative. But what I'll do here, man, I'll get off of this one. I'll go to let's see here. See here. Go to all right. Let's go fair use. And if you subscribe here, you should be subscribed to Bernard. Bernard's a pretty cool dude. Um, yeah, let's go. Let's just go over this a little bit and then I get out of here. All right, let's go.
Before a few minutes ago, that a vast majority of black men that are in the dating pool are long-term non-employed. And if you're not employed,
Thank
you
you.
can pull child support.
Yeah.
Pull child support from what's not there. Also, we can correlate this by how much these females talk about they ain't getting no money out of these niggas. We know it's not because the government ain't squeezing these niggas as hard as they can. So
Like, this conversation was about women's sexual selection, which is really, really the thing for me. Like, women's sexual selection, like, our women are not selecting for like people, people are not leaders, people are not, qualifying for these women, of which that's a flawed premise, because men should not be qualifying to women, women should be qualifying to the men, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we're totally overlooking the fact that our women are not selecting for leadership. Our women are not selecting for, the things that they're supposed to be selecting for, which is leadership provisions and protection. They're kind of selecting for everything else but that, and it's mostly sexual currency. Shout out to Ed Anderson, who is talking right now, and you know genetic currency, which is, again, you can't build a community based on that. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to be able to build, have a family that is probably likely broken, and a lot of these women are just picking, the thing based on what they like, based on what they want to have sex with. But let's keep going.
I mean, my question is, by your logic, if the majority of black men have kids at that level, then quite frankly, a lot of stuff that you're saying would not be true. Because, you gotta understand.
I'm saying, does this dude even understand his own points?
Hold on, complex. You don't understand. I wish the majority of black men had kids, because
What he's trying to get to right now is, like, he's saying that most black men have kids. I think he's already said it. Most black men already have kids, and the problem is a lot of guys, like, it's this two-sided thing where they want black men to be incels, and want them to be incels as a means to say, well, that's why you complaining, because you can't get no vagina. But then they also want men mostly to have had sex enough to have a lot of kids. And it's like, you can't have both. Like, just numerically, it's just impossible to have both. But you're trying to have men be in a space whereas they're a part of both problems at the same time. They're virgins because they just ain't seeing no vagina, and then also they're impregnating a bunch of women, of which, most of us don't have kids. 56% of black men don't have kids. But you know what I'm saying. But we'll keep going. Ed is always cooking.
I would have a lot bigger subscriber count. Show up with Mr. Palmer and Angry Man and Bernard. We'd have a lot more niggas complaining about child support if that was really the case.
So what you're saying is that the Census Bureau's data is just they're lying on black men?
No, what I'm saying is you're fucking comprehensive.
No.
Yeah, you're getting the numbers skewed.
Yeah, I think you're reading it.
You're getting the numbers skewed. That's what's happening.
Hold on.
Yeah, and shout out to Sir Tice. Sir Tice, he commented on the video too that I did. I'll probably put that video in the description, because I mean, I think that video, it should have more views. It should have more likes, just more. It should have more, you know what I'm saying, to it, because it really just debunks this conversation, you know what I'm saying, where you're having a conversation about the number of men who have kids. Because this is not it's not even hard, to do. What I did was literally, you know, uh addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Like if you can't do that to come up with the number of which a lot of these dudes can't, because I mean, and not for nothing, I don't think that he can't. I just think that he doesn't want to. Like he doesn't care to do it, which is fine, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't care to do the math or care to do, just don't quote face value stats, or at least, read deeper into them so you know not to quote them, where you can be seen. Like that's just crazy, man. But we're gonna keep going, we're gonna keep cooking.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you where you're
I have it
wrong.
on my computer.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you where you're wrong. I'm gonna tell you.
Hold on. Hold on.
Now, hold on,
Yes,
Amir.
we can do
Time out.
hold on, time out.
I
Hold on.
wanna.
Ed, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to you, Ed. I think
I'm
the
trying to
problem
save
here is that the stats could be getting read wrong. I mean, we did have a show on that when we went over those.
Could be getting read wrong. I mean, like they're giving him grace, man. Like a lot of this stuff, like again, he's not even trying with this, which is the disappointing part. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've heard of Mary Brown. This is my first time actually even hearing him speak, and the way that I've heard people speak about him, he seemed like a formative guy, you know what I'm saying? A formidable guy, you know what I mean? That's what I meant, formidable. Like a formidable opponent. But he's just not at this point, you know? Like he's not. He's not a guy that really, you know, it's the same female talking points. Y'all niggas is impregnating everybody. You niggas is incels. You niggas, you know what I'm saying? You mad because you're not leaders. And our women are not, our women have not picked for lead. They fucking Future. You know what I'm saying? They're having sex with Future. Like, how could you possibly think that they're having sex based on leadership? I mean provisions, I guess, but not protection. Future ain't protecting nobody, man. He protecting his own interests. He's just trying to get some cooch, man. Like whatever. Let's keep going. I think we're gonna keep going. Yeah.
Those numbers, and there was some confusion about the data. But so go ahead, Ed.
Well, because we did, and so I'm letting you know you don't want to bring the paperwork up, but if you do, go ahead. But the thing is, where you're getting it wrong, and I'm gonna tell you up front, where you're getting wrong is they're talking about the folks that have kids. They're not talking about the
Yeah, and that's the chart that I brought up, maybe like, what I'm saying, like in the beginning of the show. The chart that I brought up in the beginning of the show. It's just like when you look at that chart, you should know that that's not the whole picture. I mean, because this is the reality of it. Like they have those age ranges, and none of these people who are quoting this thinks, okay, well, maybe I should be looking for how many men are in each group. That's never even crossed their mind to even think about, well, maybe I should think about the guys that are in these groups, because if I don't have any, what I'm saying, if I don't actually know how many guys are in these groups, what I'm saying, from 15 to 19, from 20 to 29, from 30 to 39, from 40 to 49, if I don't know who's in those groups, how many dudes is in the groups, then how am I going to calculate the amount of fathers? They never even think to do that. That's not even like, whatever. Proceed.
totality of black men, and the way you're reading it, you're saying for the black men that have kids, X amount have kids by this age.
Thank you.
X amount have kids by this age. X amount have kids by this age. I know that
Thank you.
the math does not operate. It doesn't work when you try to read the statistics the way you're reading it.
That's
And
not.
I'm-
That's incorrect.
That is what it
Hold on,
says.
real
It's not.
quick,
No.
Yeah, and it's and that's the same thing that Courtney did. It's the same thing that same thing that a lot of women do. I mean, why am I calling him a woman? Hopefully he's but it's a lot. It's the thing that a lot of women do. You know what I'm saying, or a lot of people on that side. Like they just half-ass read. It was a time. You know what I'm saying. It was a time, and still, she hasn't been called out for this. Of course, Courtney. You know what I'm saying. I mean, and I'm sure she means well. I hate to keep like bringing her up. Like I think that's rude, but she quoted 80% as well. She just quoted 80%. Like 80% of the men have, saying have kids. So you all are quoting that number wrong, and it's just like what are you doing? Like what are you doing? You know, like what are you doing? Like don't you think that would be? Don't you think that if it was that easy, if it was just 80% and then we're fucking idiots, like don't you think that somebody would have caught that by now? That report, that chart has been out since 2019. You don't think that somebody would have caught that by now? That's just crazy. And I put and for Amiri, you know what I'm saying, I probably won't see this because I'm not popular enough to even matter in this motherfucker. But like if you see that I put that video in your comments of the video that you and you don't look at it, like you officially don't like you don't want to know the truth. You want narrative, you know. And that's the thing about this space. That's what it's like the narrative of black men having so many kids and being serial impregnators and so on and so forth. Like when that's debunked and there's still the amount of kids that there is, then what? Because that's the point. That's the point that I think Ed is going to. It's just like they're picking these niggas, and they're not picking for leadership. They're not picking for income. They're picking for sexual and genetic currency. The niggas they want to fuck, and that's fine. But then that's when the manosphere comes in and says, "Hey, these women are picking for this. This is not something that dudes are doing. The women are picking for this. They're not trying to do anything differently. They're picking for this. They're picking these guys. These guys are not like, you know, nobody's forcing themselves on these women. They're just picking. That's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And it's and you know, and that's their, you know, that's their prerogative. They ain't gotta listen to nobody. They can do whatever they want to with their body. It's their body. But you gotta take the consequences. And that's what's over here. Because you have to even like you gotta reprogram dudes to not even think that part. Like you got dudes that just think, oh, it's always a man's fault somehow. You know what I'm saying? Somehow it's always a man's fault. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta somehow like deprogram dudes to think, hey man, she's grown, she made her own decision. You know, and that's I think that's what Ed is getting into. But let me press play.
But basically, everybody that's those stats you're about to show, everybody in those stats that was all representative of all men who have children. Men who don't have children, I don't even think were represented in those stats. They were just talking about the men who have children and the ages by which
The
they
stat
have
is
them.
designed to
if I may-
understand why.
If I may, right quick.
No, hold on. Let me ask you a question, Ed Anderson.
Pull it up.
Let me ask you a question. Of men in America, what is the percentage of men in America that have children?
It's 61%. Amiri. It's 61%, 61.4%. That's the average in America. 61.4% of the men in America have kids. 43.9% of the men in the black community have kids. It's almost an 18% difference. Because we're not actually serial impregnators. That's just the point. The point that you don't want to get because, you know, whatever, but that's the point, you know? And you're asking dudes like it's the arrogance part that really like is frustrating when listening to guys like this. Like they're talking as if like, and I had to understand that too, because you know I'm new to the space. I had to understand that these guys have been litigating a lot of these stats maybe like for 10 years. And here you come, you read a chart, and then you think you're gonna come in and just like, but 61%, sir, 61.4%. We read the chart. We read it. All right.
Okay, if I may,
Go ahead, GC.
No, answer the question, Ed.
Like I don't know the exact
Exactly, you don't know the exact number. What the census?
What the this doesn't mean anything.
I didn't finish.
What
No.
A majority of
No,
All
hold
right, go
on.
ahead.
Go
I'm
get
sorry.
it.
I'm about to be exercising the hell out the mute
All right,
button.
go ahead,
So
go ahead.
All I'm saying is,
one at a time. But no, I wanted to Ed, go ahead and
Black
respond.
men occupy the widest gap between men that have kids and men that don't have kids. One of those reasons why they occupy that gap, and you can see that in the years, is once they started putting the clamps on fucking child support, a lot of dudes did not have.
Right. So what you have is that most of the kids are in the 30 to 49 range. That's because those are millennials and Gen Xers. But if you see on down, when you talk about from 15 to 29, most of those don't have kids. And when I was younger, 20, you know, the teen pregnancy was a problem. It was a problem. That's when they started, you know what I'm saying, you know, preaching condoms and using condoms and things of that nature. That number between 15 and 19 is 3%. It's not trending up. Birth rates are going down. So like a dude who's 19 now is not gonna get to, you know what I'm saying, to 40 years old and then he's 80% of the time he's gonna have kids. No, it's gonna trend down because it used to be teen pregnancy was a problem, and now it's not. It's all but non-existent, especially for the dudes. 3.1%. That's nothing. Like, dudes don't even, Mary ain't even trying, yo.
Kids for fear of that. When they start, and so you see this in the 90s, that's when you started to see it widen a little bit. And it's been widening ever since. Now, as far as other groups, I believe Hispanics are the ones that have like the most kids, you know, as far as percentages of them. And then you got white men, obviously. But black men are at the bottom of that tier. Now the propaganda will tell you it's a whole bunch of niggas having kids as a wide gap. But what you find is what you have is a lot of black women, men sharing with a lot of kids.
Which is the point. They're fucking the same dudes. My observable reality tells me that they're fucking the same dudes. We got Damon George, who has 33 kids. It's one dude with 33 kids between like 14 women. We had the dudes that were on fucking what's the lady's name? Ayanla Van Zant. You know what I'm saying? 5 dudes from Memphis fathered 87 kids between 50 women. You got Future, you got Nick Cannon. Like, that's our observable reality. They man share. They don't give a fuck. And it's not, look, there's no problem with that. I'm not saying you're a horrible person. I mean, it's a bad decision, obviously. But I'm not saying you're a horrible person. I'm saying, like, on some level, you gotta start making them be they're the problem. You know what I'm saying? They're the problem. You know what I'm saying? They're the actual problem. Like, nobody is making them have babies by these niggas. And it ain't even about money. Like, the dude, Damon George or whatever his name is, he wasn't like a freaking, millionaire. He's a truck driver. You know what I'm saying? He had a little bit of paper. I ain't gonna lie and say he had no paper, but he was a truck driver. And he's a truck driver and he got 33 kids. You know what I'm saying? The dudes from Memphis, like, none of them was famous. It wasn't like none of them was rappers or nothing like that. Like, they weren't famous. They was just dudes that got a lot of kids. That's why, like, what I don't like is that you'll get dudes that really, really believe in our women to the point where they're not attracted to men with kids. Now, that's just a lie. They're attracted to dudes with kids. As a dude with kids, I can kind of tell you they're attracted to dudes with kids. You know what I'm saying? As a dude with kids, I don't think that but that's the thing. If we're believing them every time they're talking about, you know what I'm saying, whether or not, you know what I'm saying, they're into dudes that are, it's like, it's a bunch of corny nonsense because for real, if we treat them like they're not adults, then they don't need rights. If somehow they're not responsible for their sexual selection, then they don't need rights. They don't need the right to abort. They don't need the right to even choose a man. It should be all out patriarchy and it just be like, hey, arranged marriages, you broads don't know what the hell y'all doing. If they're not responsible for their sexual selection, because at this point, one dude with 33 kids, we need to stop seeing that. Or, you know what I'm saying? They need to take responsibility for it and they need to shut the fuck up. I go with the latter because I don't want to take responsibility for none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they making decisions, they ain't me. So I would love it if they made the decision and then they decided that it was on them. But so let's get back to cooking.
Kids, so you got a lot of kid dudes that have a whole gang of kids, but that's a smaller percentage because remember, it doesn't take a lot of men to spread their seed if women are not protecting their womb, which is why I asked you the first question, because marriage is marriage is a way to be a stopgap with that. But if women are just deciding, I like how his dick works, and they're getting caught up and giving a baby to a dude, because if these women want to have hot girl summers, then have your hot girl summers. My issue is why you having a baby.
Exactly. Up to maybe like a month ago, you could get an abortion. And it's still half of the country you can get an abortion. So you can go where you want to go and go where you need to go to get an abortion. Stop having the fucking baby. You don't have to have a fucking baby. Nobody's asking you to get an abortion. But I'm saying, if you want the right to do so, and then you don't utilize it in spaces like this, when you can actually just do it, well, then either you want to be responsible for your sexual selection, your reproductive rights, or you don't. I don't have a problem with it. Either way you do it, but you just don't get to blame niggas. That's the problem. That's what this space talks about. It's talking about you can't blame us. You're making these decisions with these guys. And then we keep doing it. We keep making up this stepdaddy shit. That's why when Mr. Let Go, we talking, it's just like, man, I see you. I see right through you. And he had a Freudian slip when he said, we need to have sex. I mean, marry these. No, you mean have sex because that's what you doing. You fucking need bras. I see you. I see you. You think I don't see you? I see you. I know that's what you doing. You having sex with these bras. Because you speaking baby mama language. Juice box? Juice box? New pair of shoes? New pair of shoes? You speaking baby mama language. You speaking kids to the park? Kids to the park? Stepdaddy. You speaking they fucking language, you lame. All right, let's keep going.
By the motherfucker. You can fuck them without having a baby by them. That's when they get caught up, and that's what happens. And we have seen that in the community. Remember, Papa's a Rolling Stone, all that other stuff. I'll see you there.
All right. Let me ask you a question, Ed. So, with these black men who don't have children, how many of those black men aren't fathers because the woman decided to abort?
Here we go with the fucking.
And that's the bullshit. Because again, women dudes not being fathers because the woman aborted the kid is irrelevant, because it only speaks to the fact that they are in control of sexual access and who gets a fucking baby. You're only making the point by saying that they control who makes a baby, and they control who has a baby. And then still 14% of the men are responsible for the majority of the kids, and they're responsible for who has a baby. You can't keep making it that way. You can't have it both ways, where they're responsible because they should be able to have an abortion. If you want to have an abortion, do it. You want to kill a baby, kill a baby. It is what it is. But then you can't say now, oh, we having abortions for you. No, because that's what he's trying to get at. They're not having abortions for us. They're having abortions for them. They're not having sex for us. They're having sex for them. They're not having babies for us. They're having babies for them. And I'm fine with that. I just don't want to be, don't blame me. You don't get to blame me. You made that decision. That's your decision. And that's fine. But you don't get to blame men. That's the point of this all. Stop blaming us. We got Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige has had two notable relationships. KC from Jodeci and the nigga she with now. And this broad been sad for 30 years. And nobody said, hey, Mary J., you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't want to get all in your business, but maybe you should pick a new nigga. Because the niggas you've been picking apparently got you in 30 years of depression. You know what I'm saying? And she went broke. She was bankrupt. All that 30 years of catalog, and she went bankrupt. Nobody stopped to say maybe you should pick better or nothing like that. We just believe her story and say, you know what, boo, it's these niggas out here. Even though Mary J hasn't shown the propensity to pick right, she hasn't shown the propensity to pick right. She was with KC and on drugs. She was with KC and on cocaine or heroin or whatever. You know, I don't know these drugs. And if you can see, I'm saying 44% of black men have kids. And I rounded up. It's 43.9, Amiri. You better look at that video. You better look at that video. I'll put that video in your end, and you better look at that video. You ain't gonna look at it. You ain't gonna look at it because I surgically went down the line and did what I was supposed to do. Their sexual selection is the problem, sir. That's what the problem is. It's not nothing else. I don't want to hear it. It's their sexual selection. Summer Walker finally said, you know what? I should really be careful about who I let nut inside of me and make me pregnant. Really? It took you 2 babies to figure that out, huh? You couldn't get Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole, I was looking at Keisha Cole, and, you know, just so happened to look at her. She's a mixed girl, too. She's mixed. I think she had half Italian or something like that. And Keisha Cole just so happened to be fine. I didn't know she was that attractive. You know what I'm saying? She a little broad, nice breasts, whatever. And she cute. And when I was looking at her, I'm like, why couldn't she pick a guy that makes $250 a year as a engineer? You know why? Because by the third week, she'd be going through withdrawals, asking him to cheat on her. You ain't gonna cheat on me or nothing? You don't want to embarrass me on social media or nothing like that? You sure? Cause I mean, you just gonna be faithful? You ain't cheating or nothing? You won't beat me or nothing? She can't she can't possibly fathom a world whereas a dude is just treating her right, having sex with her face to face and whatnot, not putting his Timberland on her fucking neck. Like she can't fathom a world where that exists. That's not a world that she wants to live in. She needs a Timberland on her neck. Let's see here. I think that's it. Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, but I think that what we have is we continue to give women this, get them off the hook. And letting women off the hook is not, it's not helping them, you know? Their sexual selection is the problem. Their sexual selection is the problem. And not that all women are R&B chicks, because that's not really what it is. You know, they're not R&B chicks, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you too, Jackie Jack. You know what I'm saying? You're showing over there at Clarence's you know, at Clarence's show, which is, I mean, he barely knows what he's talking about anyway, but it's kind of like one of them things whereas it's like when he's actually got to talk to somebody, he always flubs it up. So good showing out there. That was a very good showing. You know what I'm saying? You know, continue to do good work over there. And maybe because I'm just so generous, maybe I'll have you on the show. But thanks, Jackie. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Nah, but let's get back into it. Amir is about to say some nonsense again out of his face. Let's see here.
Red herring. Oh my god.
It's not a red herring. You don't control if a woman gonna birth a child.
Dude, you shut the fuck up, bro. Shut up. Shut up, dog. Shut up. Don't talk to me like that. I'll beat your ass, dog. Shut up.
I beat your ass, dog. That's always funny. The I will beat your ass, dog, is always very that's really, that's where it stops at. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know what's the dude who's actually throwing it. That's probably complex. That's probably complex. Complex seems to be irritated by him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I can see being irritated by him. I mean, you know, he's not the most you know, easy character to deal with. So, you know, but is what it is. Let's see here. Let's go back to it.
Complex.
Y'all,
Yeah, that's
I'll
complex.
answer your question. We'll find out
All right.
now. Hold on.
I
I'm gonna
wanna-
answer your question. We'll
Let's
find
put it
out
up.
now, won't we? Thanks to Clarence Thomas, according to the way these chicks are wilding out.
And that's another thing. That's another thing. We will find out in the next probably 5 years if abortion was the reason that men, you know what I'm saying, 44%, only 44% of men have kids. Because I don't think that that's the reason. I think it's actually because dudes are just checking out. I got 3 uncles that don't have kids. They're 50 and up. You know what I'm saying? I have an uncle that's like 53-ish, I think 53. You know what I'm saying? I got another uncle that's 66 and another uncle that's 80. They have the houses that we go over for, you know what I'm saying, for holidays. You know what I'm saying? They don't have any kids. They're not bums. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm very biased. They're my uncles, so I think that they're handsome dudes. You know what I'm saying? But they're my uncles. They're not bums. They have the house we go over. Their houses got like 6, 7 rooms, 3, 4 bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? They got a deck in the backyard. Like their houses are wonderful. You know what I'm saying? High ass ceilings. You know what I'm saying? In a nice neighborhood, cul-de-sac. Like just a wonderful situation. My other uncle just it was, you know, Florida somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But still, like they don't have any kids. You know what I'm saying? They don't have any kids. They're not weirdos. They're really decent human beings. The fact that the fact, man,
We will find out how many percentages of them in a couple of years. But the reality of the situation is, even if that's the case, that's not black men's problem that black women use abortion as birth control. Because the truth is, statistics also show black men use condoms more than any other group. So, I mean,
which is another point. Black men use more condoms than any other group. Black men using more condoms than any other group is probably more of the issue than anything. And then secondly, really, is sexual selection. if the women are only selecting for sexual attraction, then probably, just probably, there's going to be less babies. And there's a lot less parity when you go to other communities, whereas the men are probably a little bit more close to the average, which is at 60%. You know what I'm saying? 6 out of 10 men have kids. You don't get a lot of parity there. It's probably along the same average in most other communities. It's only in our community where you get the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because realistically, like, what are we gonna do? If a girl don't like you, she don't like you. If she want to fuck homeboy and he got 3, 4 kids, ain't nothing you can do about that. Like the women who wanted to fuck Future, it's not like we can go over there and say, "Stop fucking Future. It's bad." Like we can't do anything. If they want to fuck Future, they're gonna fuck Future. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like, being a third baby mama is fucking nuts. Being the 7th baby mama, you got a head. Look, man, you had a head injury. I'm under the impression that you have to have a head injury if you're the one having a fucking, you're the 7th baby mama. That's ridiculous. But I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't possibly fathom how, you know what I'm saying, but he's gonna try to explain it. Amiri is, because he's just such a genius. Go, Amiri, go.
The reality is that question is irrelevant. You're saying, well, how many of these niggas would be fathers? Well, guess what? That's on the black women do that. Which again, why is it? Are you having, getting pregnant, letting? Remember, I'm gonna say this something, Bernard. You got 5 barriers here. The nigga you gonna have sex with. Are you gonna let this nigga enter raw? Are you gonna let this nigga nut in you? And let's be clear, they usually nut in more than one time over a sexual session.
And like Ed is, I mean, he's surgical. You know, Ed is surgical. You know what I'm saying? If you're not following Ed, you playing yourself. You should follow Ed. Ed should be. I mean, I don't even know if he won his channel to get over 10,000. You know what I'm saying? But I know that he deserves to be over 10,000 because his content is dope. It's amazing. So, but yeah, but that's the thing. For a woman to have a baby, you have to say fuck a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? You have to say fuck. You have to say you're gonna fuck. That's one. You know what I'm saying? But you have to say fuck a condom, fuck birth control, fuck the withdrawal method, fuck the morning after pill, fuck abortion. You know what I'm saying? And fuck adoption, because you can also put the baby up for adoption. So you have to say fuck all those things to kind of get to where you're actually having a baby, and now you got to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the dude just fucking and bussing. And I'm not saying that that's cool, but you're finding guys who are loose with their seeds. It's not like dudes who are not loose with their seeds are finding you. You know what I'm saying? You're finding dudes that are loose with their seeds, and that's why these dudes have so many kids. But let's keep rocking.
It ain't like they nut once you all of a sudden having a kid. Then are you gonna wear the morning after pill? We'll put that with birth control. And then that's abortion. They go through all 4 of those barriers. Dudes pretty much, are you gonna wear a condom or not? And then you can argue the nutting aspect. And then you also argue. So it's 3 versus 5. My point is that the comment you just made is a deflectionary comment. These women are aborting these kids, and that's on them. 19 million abortions.
19 million. And that's them deciding to do that. That's not an issue of men, and that's what this space is about. It's not about saying it's the women's fault for everything, just the shit they do, just everything that they do, not the stuff like look, if we ain't shit, we ain't shit. Ain't nobody's jacking what Future is doing. You know what I'm saying? And you can tell in the numbers, 44% of black men have kids. You know what I'm saying? Of that, 1/3 of that have 2 or more baby mamas. So the other 30% only got 1 baby mama. Most of us are not with that. 33% of black men are married. Most of the times we're having kids is in the context of a committed relationship or marriage. And marriage is most of it. So we not jacking none of this, 2 and 3 and 4 baby mamas and all that shit. Most of us don't do that shit. Most of us ain't even got kids. And most of the dudes who do have kids only have 1 baby mama. 30% of the men only have 1 baby mama. So 86% of the dudes are not responsible for this nonsense. It's the 14 for the most part. And I'll throw this in. If you're a dude that has 1, 2 baby mamas, that don't mean you ain't shit. You could have been in a relationship, it didn't work, and then go ahead to the next relationship. You know what I'm saying? But keep cooking.
So what I'm saying is the abortion rates have no bearing on male fertility. Is that what you're saying? abortion rates have no bearing on
You keep
fatherhood
on
rates for
trying to
men.
alter. It's like you're like in a
I'm not altering anything.
where you're trying to alter the argument.
No,
so
I'm
you
not.
can
I'm
make
not
yourself
altering anything.
right. It doesn't.
Hey, let's
matter.
let GC get in.
It doesn't
does
matter.
matter.
The
It does
statistic,
matter.
the
It does
statistic,
matter.
right? What I'm because see, you are arguing 80% of these motherfuckers had kids. So now that you know that shit's bullshit, now you're trying to make it right by saying, I'll tell you.
Yep, and that's another thing too. It's like once he know, and I don't think he knows it is wrong. I think he's like kind of like, I think he's trying to probably just backtrack. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because when they told him, like, I think he realized probably mid sentence or mid thought that he was, oh snap. Oh, thanks, Jack. Thanks, Jack, for the $5. Great show. Thank you. I appreciate you, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Again, one of these days I'm gonna have to have you on the show. You know what I'm saying? When I start getting like people listening and all that stuff. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, but probably what he figured out mid talking was that he wasn't really making sense of the numbers correctly. Because again, it's very, very easy to be lazy. And he knows he has to know that over on this side, there's no laziness with the stats. You know what I'm saying? We got BGS, we got Tson Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We got PhDs over here. So there's no real laziness. Everybody's about business. You know what I'm saying? You know, even myself, GC, you know what I'm saying, Ed, you know, Bernard. Like Bernard didn't even want to put the video up until he looked all the way through it. You know what I'm saying? That I, did on how many black men have kids. But let's keep cooking.
It is. It wouldn't be 80%. It wouldn't be 70%. You can look at countries that don't even have birth control like that, or don't even have access to abortion like that, and look at those percentages.
Right.
Oh, last thing, I promise, 10 seconds. It will be 10 seconds. Here's my thing. Let's say I take all that and I just give all you that shit. I give you all the cards. Guess what? Women control sexual access. So if it's a whole bunch of niggas running through these bitches to the extent that you're talking about, that says a lot about how much black women value their womb.
And that's most of the point. Again, it's sexual selection. It's nothing else. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing else. It's just them. Hold on. Dropped it. I'm probably not gonna have nobody up. Probably not gonna have nobody up because I'm about to cut it short because I know I gotta get going. But thanks, Snuggles. But no, like I really, really, really hope that Amiri really looks at that video. You know what I'm saying? I really hope that he looks at that video because if he looks at that video and really, really like the because everybody keeps quoting that number wrong. I hope he looks at that video. I hope he looks at that video and kind of sees what you need to do to come up with that number. You know, and I mean mostly so he can eat crow and he can shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? You know, but hold on. Let me see here. Why would you do that to us? I was looking forward to having a discussion with you, but that's how people do. The little people who enjoy life in the clouds. Snuggles, I be thinking you be trolling. I don't know if you're a girl or a guy. I see you on a Bernard show. I don't know if you I don't know if you're a troll or not. Plus, I really do have to go because I'm also working. So yeah, and I'm probably, I got one of those days when I'm not in the office. You know what I'm saying? So I want to press my luck on this. You know what I'm saying? But thanks, Knuckle. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you very, very much. Um, but yeah, but I hope Amiri is somehow gets to that video and looks at that video, because all this is about and all this been about is sexual selection. You know, black men are never, it's like it's impossible for a man to be a man and blame women for his transgressions. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Let's see here. Why do people say troll? I don't. Right. Like she or he has never hit the link. That's the point. She or he has never hit the link ever in life. I've never seen you on a panel. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen you on a panel. So like that's the part, and you be on Bernard's show all the time, and I've never seen you hit the link. So I gotta believe that you're a troll. I gotta believe that you're a troll. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to, what I'm saying, yeah, I gotta go on some big panels, and then I'll believe you. Let's see here. What are you saying? Are the men in society egalitarian by nature or by nurture? And if so, do you think it's a good thing or bad thing for society of men? I think that men are not naturally egalitarian; they're nurtured to be so. So, for example, 80% of the world operates the way of patriarchy. That's 85% of the world. And when you're talking about patriarchy, what I'm saying, we talking about the 15%, which is mostly in the West and specifically America, where we're nurtured to be so, and especially black men, we're only egalitarian because we're like it's a weird setup, whereas they've empowered the women the greater society has, and so we're just adhering to what's going on. So it's really not a matter of it's certainly not in our nature to be as egalitarian as we are. It's certainly more of like in the it's nurture. It's not in our nature to be that, because I can't protect my kids and be egalitarian with them. I can't protect a woman and be equals. Doesn't make sense. I'm the one I'm like, sacrificing my life for this woman. So, that's just what that is. I don't think that any of the women who are um yeah, if I'm protecting you, I can't be your equal because I'm putting my life on the line. So no, I don't think that men are naturally. I think that black men though are specifically, what I'm saying, certainly, egalitarian, the most egalitarian, and that's because obviously we've been nurtured to do so. Most of us are raised by single moms and whatnot. So, it is what it is. Thank you very much, Elijah Martin. I appreciate that. Thank you for the show. Let's see here. Let's see here. I was shocked that Mary kept changing the argument like female. And was hypocritical on what he said about his grandson. But because I eyed a black man, uh, said he'd do a whole show about the blasphemy. Eyed the black man. Well, I'm somebody's doing a whole show, but yeah, but that's the point. You know what I'm saying? Like his arguments are never coherent. He's kind of everywhere with his arguments, typically. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that until I saw him on the show because I hadn't really heard him art. I take that back. I saw him on Teapot. I saw him on X's show. But when I saw him on X's show, I'm like, I didn't think he was, horrible. I mean, he was again one of those kind of guys that kind of like he has arguments like it's how women do men do it too, and they use that as a thing, you know, if a meant to put if a black man okay, yeah. So let me read that again. Because if a black man said that he'd have a whole show on the blasphemy. Yeah, of course, of course. You know what I'm saying? He can never like that's the thing. It's like he's coming over here and saying that the men are blaming the women for everything. And it's like, no, we're just kind of taking some of the blame off of us for their actions and not necessarily we, like, why should I take blame for something you doing? You're doing it. You know what I'm saying? But the idea that men are taking responsibility or supposed to take responsibility for women's poor actions, that's trash. Like we're not, what I mean? I'm not like, dude, if if seven, if well nine, if nine women have sex with Future unprotected, dude, that's not a man's fault. You know what I'm saying it's not a man's fault. That's not my fault. I didn't have sex with Sierra. Sierra had sex with Future. And then the nerve to get then she get to complain. That's the part I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Let me read Snuggles. Let's see here. Well, seeing that you said all are nurtured into being egalitarian, do you have a natural inclination to be dominant over your surroundings, including your women, or was that bred out of you? I have a natural inclination to dominate my surroundings. Natural inclination to dominate my surroundings, but it's frowned upon because I'm in Western society. So being in Western society, a lot of times you get, like patriarchy is looked down upon. Like, women are trying to kill the patriarchy. Like, that's not because they don't they think what they think. You know what I mean? They don't think that that's a good thing. You know what I mean? That's what the L Gibbets and all of the Rainbow Coalition, all of that, and not actual Rainbow Coalition, but you get my point. But that's why all of that stuff is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not a it's just socially unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? Let's see, D Clark. I think Amiri was trolling. He switches his points up all the time. Yeah. Yeah, it's easy, you know what I'm saying, to understand that that's what he's doing. Like he's not really, like again, I was thinking that he was like an intellectual for what people like the Amiri part probably threw me off. The fact that his name was Amiri probably threw me off. But I thought that he's just not, he argues like a female, for the most part. He argues like a female. And it's really, really to me, it's like him arguing like a female really that really pissed me off. Like I really didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like arguing like a female. And not that like or arguing like a female amongst men is just bad. It's just a bad look. You know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. But let's see here. What up, D Clark? What up? What up, though? Let's see here. Do you think black men in your culture so you're not black? Do you think black men in your culture give each other grace for the mistakes you all have made in your past, or do you not see each other as human being? Hence why all the fighting. I think naturally just men understand that we can't afford mistakes because we die. You know what I'm saying? And people die when men make mistakes. When kids make mistakes, not so much. But when men make mistakes, we're in charge of too much. So the infrastructure, the grid, the industries, all that stuff, like we can't really make many mistakes because people die. So no, we're hard on each other because we need to be hard on each other with regards to making mistakes, especially when those mistakes are life threatening. Like, again, industry, I'm saying kids, things of that nature. Like you can't make those kind of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our mistakes are really just they're frowned upon because you can't make mistakes as a man. You know what I mean? My brothers don't let me make mistakes like that, you know, and they love me, but it's just like, man, you got to do better. And I agree. I agree. I got to do better sometimes, you know. Let's see here. See, every time they debunked or proved them wrong, he just moved the goalposts like those females on Fresh and Fit. There's a lot of son husbands and simps and simp enforcers that think that Amiri is think like Amiri, sadly. Yeah, and I think that that's more of the problem. You know what I mean? Like maybe I think he was raised in a two-parent household. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what was said. You know what I mean? Hopefully, but hopefully he's not lying. But the idea that he can just you know I don't know, just switches like with the kid thing is the thing that always pisses me off. Cause I think like that video, and if you haven't seen that video of, like I'm gonna probably put it in the description, but if you've seen the video that I break down how 56% of black men don't have kids, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you check that out, share that, you know what I'm saying? Give us some more views or whatever. That's it's my largest performing video. It went up another, I think, 200 views or whatever. Got a few more likes. I got a few more subscribers. So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Certainly. But the thing that I don't like is that that's easy. That's concrete. Concrete. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't have to really debate whether or not men are actually the ones, being serial impregnators or are women just having bad selection. You know what I mean? We don't really have to litigate that. That's kind of easy. You know what I'm saying, at this point. You know what I mean? And he doesn't even have the wherewithal to really even like get his way out of that argument. I thought he would have had something, but he clearly didn't. Let's see here. Um, the reason I asked because black men in your culture, you're not black. That's crazy. Because because it seems like the white man and the Asian man seem to understand each other even when they make mistakes and are giving each other grace. Well, I think that's because men are on code in other races. We're not on code. You know what I mean? Like we have Amiris. They don't have Amiris. If they have a Amiri, they kill them. They get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? So in other ethnicities, they're on code. They get them out of there if they're not on code. They don't have Amiris. We have Amiris. We have Umar Johnsons. We got, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Let Go, you know what I'm saying, telling people to marry these baby mamas. Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. He's gonna drop a live screen saying Yeah, he did a live stream already. He already did a live stream where he was saying, I gave them guys this work. They all gonna get this work. It's like, man, you ain't giving nobody no work. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? You still saying 80%, like, because Courtney Michelle said 80% of men got kids. Like, that's wild. You know what I'm saying? That's wild, son. That's super wild. Like, why would you know what I'm saying, say that many men have, like, 80% of the men? That means 80% of the men are getting cooch. And y'all don't believe that because you believe that all the men are freaking, incels. The incel, and that's the argument that I always hear. It's like men are incels, but also men are also impregnating everybody. Like it's like both of those things can't be true. You know that, right? You know what I'm saying? 80% of the men can't have kids and be incels at the same time. And the only incels are in the manosphere, by the way. So the 20% of dudes who ain't getting no pussy are the ones that, you know what I mean? And like some of these dudes have shown a girl, you know what I mean? Bernard, of course, has shown his woman, but you know, yep, and Boyce Watkins too. I'm sorry. And we got Boyce Watkins too. Certainly. Certainly. Boyce Watkins is like saying he's a simp is kind of an understatement because he got a woman that he used to love. So saying that he's a simp is kind of not, that's an understatement. He's more than just a simp. You know what I'm saying? He's next level nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, nah, he's not even a simp no more. He's something. We got to give him another. We got to call it the Boyce. It's the Boyce. It's the Boyce. uh, I have noticed that certain things about black men in your culture will make a mistake without that other man. I can't read this shit. Why don't I put on my glasses? I'm such a okay. I have noticed there are certain things black men in your culture will make a mistake with that other men in other cultures make the same mistake, but you all have harsh words. Again, it's because we're all cold. We're just all cold. I understand the importance of what you all have been under, but do you not understand you are still human beings? Yeah, we're not on code. That's really the answer for that. We're not on code. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, see, like we're not on code because we have women kind of running the culture. So anytime you say culture, just think women are running the culture. Women are not gonna blame themselves. Women are gonna blame the men. And we have a culture that says, hey, we're gonna, blame each other. We're just gonna blame ourselves. So that's really what it is. We're just not on code. You know what I'm saying? See here, Elijah. He's a I cannot read this word. What is this word? I really want to know this word. A eunuch, eunuch. Remember Jezebel had a group of, oh my goodness. I don't got the reference, bro. I'm sorry. I ain't got the reference. I don't got the reference. You gonna have to do better. I mean I'm gonna have to do better because I don't get the reference. Dang, I wish I knew the reference because I want to call him something, but I don't want to call him a simp because I think that I do a very big injustice to simps by calling him a simp. He is not a simp. He is something else. He is certainly something else, man. He is certainly something. He is something else. Nah. But the Amiri, I hope Amiri sees that video. Hopefully he does, you know what I'm saying, see that video. If not, man, whatever. I don't think he want those bars. I think those bars are a little too much for him. You know what I'm saying? But I like that. Look, man, thanks anybody, anybody that was listening or whatever, because I really do gotta get out here because I gotta get back to work. But thanks for listening, man. This is Mike Perkins, one half of MVP, one half of Opinions I Like podcast, one half of Mike and Vince Perkins, and I am out. Peace, y'all.